Welcome to the Paulisthebest3uk YouTube Christmas special 2023. I have no idea why we've got this countryside part of the video again, but we have. So it's now time for some retro games, what we've all been waiting for. 5 retro games on a multitude of different computers or consoles. So we've got 25 games and then we've got a Spectrum next segment at the end. So keep tuned. So onto the Oric Apnos. We've got Centipede as the first game. Not a bad conversion, to be honest. On to game 2, and this is a game called Doggy. Very impressive for the limitations of the hardware. It's got music playing throughout, and it's got a lot of colour and nice big chunky graphics and stuff. So yeah, pretty impressive stuff. On to game number 3 now. This is Crullers. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. It's a game that's similar to Penetrator on the ZX Spectrum, or Scramble I think it was called in the arcades. Very good little game here. Super Jeep is great fun. It's a Moon Patrol clone. And yeah, do you remember Moon Patrol in the arcades or the Atari 2600, whatever you had it on? Well, this is a clone of that for the Oric Apnos. And finally for the Apnos, we've got Scuba Dive. Hey! So this is Scuba Dive, the Oric Apnos version. This is a lot different than the ZX Spectrum version. I would say the Spectrum version's a lot better. But yet this is the last one for the Oric Apnos. Now onto the second system of the Christmas special, and we've got Amstrad CPC, also known as CPC 464. So yeah, another 8-bit machine, and the first game to start us off is a corker, and it's Chase HQ. This is a bit like the Spectrum version, but has got a lot more colour in it. Very good conversion of a classic arcade machine. Next up, we've got Motos. Do you remember Motos? I had this, we had it as a family on the ZX Spectrum 128. Never played the Amstrad version before, so this is a first for me. Oh, I didn't mention I am playing all these games as I'm recording them. Next one looks more like a Spectrum port. It's a Tubin, another arcade coin-up machine conversion. It looks like it's been ported over for the Spectrum to me. What do you think? Unfortunately, the next one doesn't have any in-game music, unlike the Spectrum version. This is Manic Miner. Still, it plays the same as the Spectrum, it just doesn't have the music. Did you know Manic Miner was out on the Amstrad CPC? I don't think I did until I found it on my ROM list. And the next game is a game called Mobile Man. I don't think I've ever played this before. If I have, I can't remember it that well. Yep, it's a strange game where you're on this sort of like hovering bike, is it? I don't know, like sort of pedal helicopter. I'm not sure what it is, but yep, pretty fun game to be honest. Okay, so that's the Amstrad CPC section sorted. So let's go on to the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, the classic Spectrum. Don't forget, at the end of the video there's a Spectrum next bit. Okay, so the first game on the Spectrum, or the 11th game in the list, is P47, the Freedom Fighter. Pretty good game actually. No music in game, but still a good game. The 12th game of Christmas, or the 12th game on the list, is Lotus Turbo Challenge. And yet, not a bad game actually. You can't have the full screen of Lotus 2 on your Amiga save, but still, it's a pretty good port on the Spectrum. Yeah, runs nice and fast. Not bad. A game I remember playing from a magazine cover tape, but I think it was also released separately, is a game called Pixie the Microdot 2. There was a first one as well, I believe. You actually played that little tiny dot, you see it there? I don't know why they decided that. Maybe they just couldn't be asked to draw a sprite for the main character, so they've done a dot instead. Anyway, it's a pretty fun game to be honest. Next up, we have a Bomb Jack clone on the Spectrum, and it's Super Seymour Saves a Planet. Definitely a Bomb Jack clone. This one was made by Codemasters. Finally on the Spectrum, we've got Stormlord 2. Great game, great graphics, great visuals. Very difficult, and I could not figure out how to get past the lava. I was obviously doing something wrong. I was trying to jump on the bubbles, but it wasn't happening. So yeah. Onto a very old system there. We're looking at the Atari 2600, or the Atari VCS as it's sometimes known as. So let's have a look at some Atari 2600 games. First up, we've got Cosmic Arc. This is a classic, quite innovative for the Atari 2600 as well. First thing, you have to protect yourself from the asteroids, and you have to get your smaller shift and pick up the dudes on the planet. You've only got a certain amount of time. So yeah, classic game. Next up is one of the very first video games I ever played, and it was Enduro. Yeah, very good driving game. Definitely the best version of the game as well. This also come out for the ZX Spectrum, but the ZX Spectrum was poor in comparison. Another very early game I played was Miss Pac-Man. I actually played this one before the original Pac-Man. Not bad. Pole Position, arcade coin-up conversion for the Atari 2600. It plays pretty well actually, the limitations of the system. And finally, for the Atari 2600, we've got River Raid, one of the very early games I played again. This is out on multiple formats, like the Commodore 64 Spectrum as well. And this is the Atari 2600. I think this might have been the original version, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's River Raid, and it's really good. Okay, so onto the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, for the next one. And the first game is Rocking Cats. A game I've never heard of or played before. Plays quite well actually, pretty typical run-of-the-mill NES side-scrolling game. Great music as well. The next game is a game I've never played before, but it's absolutely superb. It's a game called Rollerball. If you want a Pinball Dreams style experience on your NES, this is definitely the way forward. Great game, and I would like to get this at some point on my real NES. This is just an emulator at the moment, but yeah, good game. Music's superb as well. Tartar's Rainbow Islands is next for the NES, and it's not a bad conversion, to be honest. It has that weird thing on the consoles like the Master System, where if you get so far up and then it has to flip the screen, must run out of memory space or something. See how it does that? But yeah, other than that, good game. Bit of golf for the next one. This is NES Open Tournament Golf, and yes, pretty good game, pretty fun to play. Reminds me of Golfer Mania on the Master System. Similar sort of idea, where it's above you and then it goes behind the character at the last section. Didn't get the ball there, but yeah, good game. A game I've never played until today, or when I'm making this video, is Noah's Ark. Yep, so that's a pretty decent side-scrolling NES game. So there's your 25 games for the Christmas special. So many great systems, past and present, and too little time. That's what I say. So on to the Spectrum next. Exclusives. Now I'm not going to sort of talk through these too much. But yep, this is one called Xmas. I think this was just a demo made especially for the festive season. And yet, absolutely superb. Okay, so Bean Brothers is next. These games are all free to download, by the way. And you can see the capabilities of Spectrum next. Another great game is a game called Block Boy, which I believe is a Pac-Man clone. As you can see, it definitely is. Another Moon Patrol clone now, Crater Crawler. Yep, this is a very good Moon Patrol clone for the Spectrum next. You see you got your parallax scrolling and everything. Really cool. Like the author of the game says on the beginning of the game, it might include music on a future release. But yep, very good. Spectrum next time again, and it's Next Shift. This is a very difficult but fun game. You control two people, one on either side, and you've got to stop the spectrums from falling off the conveyor belts. It sounds easy, but when multiple spectrums start coming after a while, and you have to be ready for the existing one and the ones that come. And it's also got great music as well. Do you recognise that tune? I know I do. Ramble is another Spectrum next game by Kevin Phillips, and this is a great another sort of penetrator on the ZX Spectrum clone, Scramble, but sort of a bit different. But yeah, it plays well. Another Spectrum next game is a game called Tiny Peter. This is by Paul Weller Sun Team, and it's got very colourful graphics, and yep, very good game. Quite difficult to play. It's got nice chunky sprites and nice colour in the graphics. And a lot of these games that you've seen are written in Next Basic, and So yeah, you can see when I break into the program, watch this. See? So this game is written in BASIC, as you can see. You can see how powerful this BASIC is compared to the original Spectrum. It's got all these new commands like sprite and everything. I'll have to try and learn how to do this myself so I can write my own game, maybe in the future. Well, yep, there's Spectrum next for you. That's Christmas Day special. Thank you for watching. Happy Christmas and a wonderful New Year for 2024. And goodbye.